How everybody doing today, guys? This interview is with Marco, one of my buddies that's talking about the importance of coffee and his love for it and how to start a coffee business. So our slogan is where coffee is shared with the people you love. So guys, here we go. Today we sit down with a man whose story starts thousands of miles away in a small town in Italy. It's a village. At a kitchen table with his grandfather, a cup of coffee and maybe a plate of cookies or a piece of cake. This story is behind a new movement in online coffee space, a movement that Marco was building to bring fresh, organic, roasted to order coffee straight to your doorstep. A movement built on one simple idea: where coffee is shared with the people that you love. Marco, thanks for joining us today, buddy. How you doing?
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. What we're gonna do today, we're gonna go back to Italy. We're gonna ask you about your origin. So, Marco, before we talk business today, let's go back to Italy. What was it like when you grew up, and what do you remember about your grandfather? So, I know we talked about that.
Yeah. So my grandfather was a construction worker his whole life. He was in the business for 40 plus years. What I remember most of was, his work ethic and, how strong he was and how he used to always make time also for the family, all that kind of stuff. But I think one of the most important things is that he used to after every meal, he used to always tag nice little espresso shot to his meals. And that's how you grow up in Italy. You have that culture, you have that it's a normal thing over there. It's like, you drink coffee, like, it's just the way it is. So when I was a little kid, my grandparents used to always tell me to go turn on the coffee machine. So I was a little kid, I would run up to the coffee machine, turn it on, and wait for it to get warmed up. And we would have a coffee, and I would sit on my grandfather's lap, and or my grandma, whatever. And we would, I would drink. My grandma used to also make these cookies, homemade Italian cookies, back in Italy. So I used to dip my cookie in my coffee, or drink the coffee, black. I like to drink my coffee black. So it was something that I always stuck with me, and I remember it to this day, like it was, yesterday.
That's awesome. So obviously you remember the first time you sat down at the kitchen table. So how did you feel when you got in that moment? What was that like when you had that first coffee with your grandfather, and when you took that first bite? What kind of feeling did that give you? Sitting there with people you love.
Yeah, I mean, in the beginning, of course, when I first time tried coffee, the flavor of it was very strong. So I didn't know, it was kind of weird at first. But over time, I guess when the more I drink it, plus I've never had it with sugar. I've always had black coffee my whole life. And the reason behind that is because I just like the taste of the actual coffee. But yeah, it was very nice. It was moment where, like, I still remember to this day, and I remember everybody else being around the table, and my mom, my cousins, everybody. So it was a good moment.
So what do those moments teach you about family, love, and connection? I know the slogan is sharing coffee with people you love. What did that teach you about
Well,
connection?
it teaches you about, like, you have to, when you grow up in a family where people, like, care about you and love you as much as they do, like my family does. It's important. It feels good. It makes you feel strong, and you can take on the day or your life in general on a, stronger mindset. And it's important to have people that you can trust, you can love, and I think that's the most important thing. And families, I think, the most important thing in the world, in life.
That's sweet. That's a great answer. So we're gonna go and switch over. We're gonna figure out what sparked you to actually like coffee. So why coffee, right? You could have started any type of company, but you chose coffee. What made you
Right.
say, this is it? This is the thing I want to bring to the world? And we know you got a pizza shop. So we're gonna talk about that later. But what made you
Yeah.
decide to start a coffee company?
So like I said, like I've always had coffee. I always have an espresso in the morning before I come to work. Then when I'm at work, I have another one. After lunch, I have another one. So I drink coffee quite often. And I started getting on this, like, a little bit more of the understanding, the roasting processes, and the where it comes from, and all these different things that are important for coffee. So I started digging into that a little bit and started understanding a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I think I have enough understanding, and I have enough drive to wanting to own my own business. And plus, I own a business already. So I think that it was kind of similar ideas as running businesses.
Yeah,
I think that running a business is fun if you like what you do. And coffee is one of those things. And, like, this pizza shop is something I enjoy doing. And I think it was a good combination to kind of do the both.
love it, love it. Was there a specific moment, maybe years later, when you realized, hey, I want to recreate that feeling that my grandpa gave me for others? Because I know you had that great feeling yourself, but if we sharing a cup of coffee, what was that thing that you thought would be good for other people?
Yeah, I think the fact of having a grandfather that or a parent or someone that's close to you, they can kind of introduce you into that coffee business. I think it's very important. Not necessarily business, but like that coffee environment, because I think it's something that everybody has every day. So, and if you have someone that can teach you the differences, and I think kind of, how can I say this? I think kind of having a guide is very important. So the reason I want to also touch other people's families, and and the slogan is what it is because I think it's important. I think family is important, and I think coffee is something that can kind of bring people together. So,
Love that. So bringing Italy to America, right? From tradition to technology. You grew up around traditional, slow, and intentional coffee. Everything was slower back in the day. Now you're launching an online coffee brand that brings and ships fresh, organic coffee rather than things being roasted. How are you mixing the old world Italian traditions with now modern technology? You have any thoughts on that?
so I was able to find this coffee brand that I'm doing is just because through research and understanding different processes, and we decided to kind of go with the freshest quality that we can find. So, I think it's important to find the freshest coffee because most of the times when you find coffee on the shelves, it's been sitting there for a couple months, doesn't taste the same. So I think that was very important for me to find the right source, in which, by the way, we source coffee from all over the world. So I think it's very important, and I think the online platform is where everything is at. You mean, like, if you're not online doing something, it's difficult nowadays to just have a brick and mortar shop and kind of go from there.
Mhm.
You have to be online. You have to advertise your business. I think it's a very good, important combination.
I agree with you. I agree.
I think also that I don't have an actual store right now, but I will. I'm planning on one day, hopefully, to get one and have a location. So that would be one of those exciting moments as well. One day.
Well, that's pretty cool, Marco, because I know knowing you personally, I've been to your restaurant. You offer exciting, delicious food, and I can say that I love the idea of you actually not having a brick and mortar right now. You have it's an online business, which is pretty tight, man. I will even call it a hybrid. 'Cause I know we discussed having coffee at the pizza shop in the morning, so kind of like a bistro in the morning, uh,
Hmm.
deli coffee like a Starbucks s. You can get your lunch and your dinner later on. So what kind of segue into that? The next question I have for you: what does fresh roasted to your doorstep actually mean for the coffee lover out there? Like who's used to having store bought beans? Give me some questions.
Yeah. Well, I think what that means is pretty much where normally when you go to your Starbucks, your Dunkin' Donuts, or you just go to your store, a regular store, and you buy the coffee off the shelf. That coffee has been sitting there for a while. We're talking, few months. It all depends, right? Maybe sometimes even longer. It depends. I'm not exactly sure the time frame, but because everything is different, right? But it's guaranteed a few months for sure. But with the reason what we're doing is we're roasting the coffee upon your order. So when you place the order online, we receive the order and then we'll roast it at the moment we receive your order. So then when you get your coffee, which is the next 3 to 5 days, it's super fresh. You will smell that freshness from that bag. That coffee is gonna smell so good. I mean, it's incredible. I kind of had a hard time believing that myself when I first started getting into this because I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like, and then I compared to coffee that I was drinking back in the days, and
Yep.
comparing it to this, you can taste the difference. You can definitely taste the difference. You'll taste the freshness of it. You'll taste the difference in the two different types of coffee. You felt, the other one when I started drinking my coffee, I started getting used to it. When I went back to kinda test the other ones out, I was
Mm.
like, "Man, this is different taste, this is different flavor." So, at first, when you receive that, between the smelling and then eventually drinking it, you'll taste the difference and you'll smell the difference a lot.
That's a great answer, and I know you have different kinds of coffee. We'll get into that later, not right now. So we want to talk a little about health, right? Coffee is wellness. See a lot of people online talking about intermittent fasting, breaking their fast, having what is this chlorogenic something in the coffee,
Mhm.
right? That makes it good to help burn fat and stay fasted. So Marco, today people care about health more than ever. Can you share some of the health benefits of organic fresh coffee that people may not even know about? That's joining.
Yeah, so, I mean, like you just said, the fact that it's, an organic, it's clean, There's no chemicals in it. We don't try to put anything in it to ruin it, pretty much. So when you drink something that's high quality, the benefits are automatically coming from that. There's no GMOs, there's no artificial flavors, there's no like all of our flavor coffees, those are 100% um naturally flavored oils that we put in there. So there's no chemicals. So then, what is no chemicals equal to? A healthier life. We also have like the mushroom coffee, which is high in it makes you focus a lot better. It helps you, it doesn't give you that crash. And then all of those things happen because of the high quality product that we're serving. You don't feel like, you wanna it's not when you're done drinking your coffee, you're not gonna feel like you're gonna crash, you don't feel tired. You're not gonna
Like
feel
the
any of that
jitters and
because
all
of
that, like the jitters and
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
little
You don't
aches
feel
and all
jittery.
that.
You don't feel exactly, exactly. So
Makes sense.
that's why we stand behind that because, like I said, I drink coffee on a daily basis. I wouldn't want to serve something to a customer that gives you that negative feel inside of you. I don't want that. I want my customers to be happy when they buy my product.
Love that. So we often talk about coffee being more than just caffeine, right? You talk about it as maybe being a ritual, it's like something that you do daily. What does that ritual do for a person emotionally, mentally, and spiritually as being a coffee lover yourself?
It makes you feel like it makes you feel good because when you start your morning routine, you start with your coffee, then you start getting into, if you're doing daily diary or you're writing stuff down, you're getting tasks done. You're mixing it up. You're mixing your coffee with something that you like, or creamer, or something else that you prefer. And I think one of my favorite things is to do is actually I still have the old coffee pot, let's say, call it, where you put the espresso in it and you put the water on the bottom and you close it up and you let it sit there. So that also is like a fun part to do. I think I like it. It's a fun process, and I think that people can, and then if they don't want to do that, they can also do the K cups that we have as well. So there's different things like people can put this coffee and have it on the daily, like as a daily routine, and and feel good about it. They don't have to overthink everything.
Let's go back on that, Marco. You said something that I never knew. You guys do offer K cups.
Yes, yes, we do. We have it in different sizes. I think it's a 12 and a 60, if I don't make a mistake.
That's impressive because we work a lot with the beauty industry and barbers, and they've been. I told them about. It. They've been asking a lot about. Hey, we want to put that in our shop and our salons, especially these barbers. They drink coffee before they get going, and they offer it
Yeah,
to their clientele. So it's pretty good to
yeah.
know.
I mean, that would be a great way to do it. They can always buy if they have the machines there already set up. They can buy depending on what kind of standard blend, espresso blend, all that
Mm,
kind of stuff that they want, and they can set it up and they can let their customers enjoy a nice cup of fresh quality coffee.
that's sweet. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the vision. Let's go a little bit to that as you help others start their own coffee brand in the future. What inspired you not to only launch your own brand, right? And I know you're pretty young, right? 27. That's pretty impressive, man. I can tell you that. But
Thank you.
also to help other people start their own online coffee business in this climate of being an online entrepreneur. Talk a little bit about that.
I think it's so rephrase that again for me. I want to
Okay,
I want to make sure I
sure.
understand that right.
Sure. What inspired you not only to launch your own brand online, but also to help others start their own online coffee business? So basically, what made you decide to say, "Hey, I'm running this pizza shop. We're doing extremely well." What was it about the coffee that said, "You know what? I'm gonna start my own coffee brand." But not only am I only going to start my own coffee brand, you already had in your mind that I was going to bring people along with me so they can make money with.
Yeah, okay. So I think like I said, I think that even with the pizza shop or with the coffee business or with anything else that I get involved in life, I don't really do it because I feel like it's a job. You know what I mean?
Mm,
I think I do it just because I enjoy doing it. And I think once people find something they like doing, it's easier for them to get up in the morning and do what they want to do. Now, don't get me wrong, there's always going to be some hard times involved with
oh,
that.
of course.
But it's a part of the process. It's the part of always getting better every day. And I think it's important to I think we can let people grow with this as well. So it's always a life experience. When you get into any business in life, it's a life experience. I think business in general is always important for anyone to try at least once in their life. And if it works out, good. If it doesn't, it's a life lesson right there. You handle the pressure? Can you handle the stress? Can you handle all kinds of other things that come with it? So I think helping people through that is very important.
Okay. We want to put this out there when somebody comes back to watch our video. What types of people have you come across that maybe want to start their own coffee brand? Let's say other entrepreneurs, parents, other side hustlers or maybe some other coffee lovers? I know myself, guys. I'm gonna answer that real quick so he can take a break because I'm an online guy. I love marketing. I love digital sales. I call it instead of likes and shares. I like PayPal and Stripes. So the shares and likes. And I like brick and mortar versus the click and mortar. Right? We want people to make
Yeah.
money online. And I'm an entrepreneur, and we own actually a hair business, and we're going to be one of the first customers, or I would say business partners, to go ahead and take place and parlay with Marco because we do see the vision as our own beauty industry because we at least give away at least 15 to 20 cups of coffee a day as we have a thriving salon and we spend a lot of money on buying it from department stores. So in your opinion, Marco, who's the ideal person or entrepreneur or coffee that might you think could do successful or be successful in this business?
Yeah, I think places where you can sit down and have a conversation with someone. I think places like that, anywhere like you just said, like a nail, like a salon, a barber. I think local businesses where there's a lot of interaction with people, right? Where you can serve them a cup of coffee and they can enjoy it. But then also like if you want to take it on and have just a side hustle for yourself, I think that's also very important too. I think people can do that as well. It's not super difficult, but it's not super easy as well. So I think you can play around with that. You know what I mean? You can kind of say, okay, you can spend this much time or this much time. And like I said, I think a lot of the places that can should consider partnering with us or, even coffee in general is places like even like a doctor's office or places like that. Like I think that where people can go and take because you're taking your time there. You don't want to rush into
Yeah.
something like that. So I think it's also very important to take your time when you drink your coffee.
I know me, Marco. I saw it inside of my mechanic location.
Yeah, mechanic, yeah, that's a good
Definitely
one.
my doctor's office, dental office, doctor office, all the same.
Mhm.
And my insurance agent, I go in there sometimes for
Yeah. Yeah, you
so
got some
you
good points,
yeah,
yeah.
so, this yeah, man, that's pretty cool. Okay, so how easy is it today for someone with no experience to build a brand around their passion for coffee, especially with your help, knowing that we have a complete marketing department that you have your hands access to? Because I know that you do a lot in the marketing world and you have your own affiliate program coming out. Just give us some ideas that you think can let the people know how you can help them build their business around if they wanna start their own coffee brand as well, online.
Yeah, I think, well, it helps everybody. When you start off without any knowledge, it's okay. I would always encourage them to always get some information from what they're getting into. Because when they ask you questions, you want to be somewhat prepared. So we can teach you that, as well. But I think it's important to always know some parts of what you're getting into. So, but like I said, like that's stuff that we can always teach.
Yep.
Um,
So you said
and becoming
know your craft, right? Know your craft.
Correct, correct, correct. Ask me a question about coffee, you ask me a question about pizzas or anything else, like I know how to kind of answer that, so because I've been in it for quite a long time. When you become an affiliate, what happens is that, you advertise, your business and we help you understand how to do that. So when you understand how to do that, then you have the keys to success because then you start understanding what customers will like, what they don't like, so then, once you understand that kind of business right there, you understand your customers, you understand where you want to go with your business and with your model. Then it's easier. Then you have a plan. You sit down, we'll sit there and we'll write up a plan for you to make you understand and cater for what you need. So I think it's very important.
Sweet, sweet. That's it right there. So here we go. When you say the slogan where coffee is shared with people you love, what does that really mean to you personally?
That's a good question. That is pretty much I like to enjoy coffee with people that I care. I love I also like to smoke cigars, so like every once in a while, like a nice cigar with a nice coffee is good too. And cigars is a moment also that you share with people you care, in my opinion, right? To me, I think what means the most is that if you have family, if you have friends, I think friends like even when you go to a party, like not necessarily a party where you're gonna, get drunk or whatever like a family gathering or like, something like that, like Thanksgiving or Christmas or holidays or something like that. You drink coffee, you have a good time. You sit there, you have, good laughs with the family and friends and people you haven't seen for a while too. So like it's always good to connect back with them and I think that's what's important.
Okay. So now this is more personal again. What's your hope for people who drink your coffee, and what feeling do you want them to experience when they drink it?
Okay. I would like them to experience what I experienced when I was a young kid. You know, having my grandfather as that person introduced me to the coffee was very important, I guess, because we're at this point, right? We're talking about coffee. If it wasn't for him, this would have never happened. I would like for them to really taste the coffee, see what they think, and always give us their honest opinion. So then we can always become better and understand what we need to do to
Good
improve.
answer. It's a good answer.
And I think that's where what I'm looking for.
Okay, so let's talk a little about the future. I know we're just getting started, but sometimes you got to look at your end and see where you're going to go at. So your coffee legacy, right? If your grandfather were alive today and saw what you were doing and what you were building, what do you think he would like to say to you?
I think he would be proud, but he would always tell me to, keep going, never give up, dream big. He always say dream big. And no matter what I did, he would say just dream big. You can dream about it. I think you can achieve. If you if you work hard, if you dedicate yourself to it, you'll get to where you want to be. So, I think he will be proud and it will be an honor to see him.
Got it. So now, what's your long term vision, Marco? What where do you want to be? Where you want this brand to be in this community in about 5, 10, 20 years from now? What are you thinking?
I would like to be in a position where, I guess, how can I say this? I think, in a position where we're helping people out, but at the same time, like people are enjoying the coffee that they're receiving at their door. A lot of things are coming as well, where gift card promotions and stuff like that for holidays, so people can enjoy that with and gift it to a friend or family or something like that. So all of that stuff is step by step. We'll get there. Everything is set up to get there on the time that we need it to be. But I think our name is going to grow pretty big, and because of the quality that we're serving, customers I think they're going to really like their product, and they're gonna share this with the friends and family for sure.
I agree with you. And Marco, one of my favorite things to say is if you increase and bring value, the people are gonna come anyway. It's gonna be developed. Creating value in the marketplace is one of the most important things out there. I believe that you're going to create a lot of value with this. So, Marco, in closing, we want to thank you for sharing your story. First of all, a story rooted in family, tradition, and a simple but powerful, right, belief. So, we're going to end with this, guys. Coffee is more than just a drink. Okay, it's a bridge between people, a moment that becomes a memory, a ritual that connects generations. If you're watching this and you believe coffee brings people together, you're in the right place today. So, welcome to Marco's World, right? And Golden Mugs. Welcome to a new kind of coffee community where a place where we can welcome you, where coffee is what? Shared with the people that you love. So, guys, at the end of this video, you're going to see at the bottom, you can look up if you want to connect with us. You can go ahead and like this page, or you can decide to join our community, which will be down at the bottom in the description. And our community we built around helping people understand what coffee is, what do they do with the coffee, how they can start the coffee business, and just asking Marco any question you'd like to have. It'll also be something if you want to get that business started and really take it to the next level. And if you got any questions about wealth, health, peace, anything around coffee, because coffee is kind of like an all-in-one tool. What you think, Marco? About
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think you're right when you say that. Those words are, I think, the perfect description. But yeah, if anyone, whoever wants to join, let us know. And the community is gonna be growing, and can't wait to see what everything looks like when in a couple years from now.
And guys, don't forget, look, find us on YouTube. You'll be looking us up on Instagram, and also we'll soon be having our Google profile set up. So come and check Marco out. Hey, thanks for your time. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.